Hello everyone, this is Greyshot 17 here, bringing you a Company for Heroes 2 replay, brought to you by myself. Well, okay, so maybe I'm kind of embellishing that a little bit. Really, it's a replay that my brother highly suggested that we play together. So honestly, the reason why I saved it is him. And anyway, it's pretty much going to detail the OKW's resilience compared to overwhelming forces. Now you may be saying, Greyshot, but yeah, OKW, it sucks. You know, if you, let's say, are fighting the British or something. Well, here's the situation. We're not fighting British. We're fighting American forces along with one Soviet, and we have 3 OKW versus 1 Wehrmacht. And let me just say this. These are some of the most aggressive players I've ever seen with Americans. But don't trust me on this. Let's look at their ranks. So they have a mix right here, and along with us, nice little mix there. This, by the way, is GTA. In case you're wondering, GTA changed his name again. I don't know why. I honestly don't. But he changed his name again to something that's not GTA. So yeah, that's a thing. Alright, so anyway, we can see here that my brother's trying to push up with his Stern Pioneers. He has this left area. We can see here that Panzer Juice has like his flank. Then GTA is on my area, and I am holding this right point. So my job will be holding fuel and grabbing this star. My brother is also trying to grab the star and fuel. But as you can see here, compared to me, where I have pretty much nothing going on, these guys want to focus from mid and then this far left. My brother is kind of having some small difficulties. Yeah, unfortunately, Storm Pioneers are really good. But they can't necessarily fight a bunch of well, conscripts and rear echelon forces. That being said, yes, I've had I failed to check it. I really should have, but I had a replay where there was this guy who literally spammed rear echelons. I wonder if this is the same guy, or maybe it isn't the same guy. I wonder if this is someone who saw that and is like, oh my god, that's a great idea, because literally this guy all rear echelon. Which is an interesting choice. Rear echelon are not as good as riflemen, not by far. They don't have the firepower or the quote-unquote, I guess, defense compared to, you know, riflemen. But that being said, riflemen, on the other hand, well, as you can see here, they're conscripts. Actually, a lot of conscripts. But that being said, rear echelon, you can have a lot more of them, especially if they get vetted up. I think it's 2-star. Yeah, 2-star, they increase to 5. And if you vet them up, of course, in of really powerful weapons, they can become a decent fighting force. Anyway, on my side, I'm like, GTA recommended that maybe I start blocking, and I'm like, yeah, probably should. Because again, this force area right here, and the same thing on this side, you can't punch through it. So honestly, there's like 3 areas where it's essentially, you can see here, like 3 major areas that pretty much are kind of blocked off by this forest area, which puts fighting. There's this area, which puts a lot of fighting right here. We have a lot of fighting that goes on over here in the forest, and then like this wide open area. I do like this map and that cool design. I'll give it that. I like how everything's straight and it's not. It's perfectly balanced. Or at least, you know, really closely balanced. Like, I honestly don't think there is, like, a flaw necessarily. Like, it's not like, oh my god, you grab this building, you're gonna own this entire area. No, no, no. You could do the same thing over here and own this. And, of course, you can come straight at it. And there's no windows, so that's perfect. Really good. Anyway, you can see here, I'm moving up forces. I'm moving up Volk squads. Try to come around for a flank. Have a Kubel on defense. My brother, on the other hand, it's getting some help. We can see here that Panzer Juice is coming in to assist my brother. And again, the reason for that is very simple. We need, again, if you can cut off the allied fuel, that's huge. We can see over here just a ton of rear echelon. Let's look at all that. That is a lot of men. Unfortunately, Panzer Juice is losing a lot of men because of it. And yeah, they don't need to necessarily have the firepower. There's just so many men that a Kubel, when you shoot it, yeah, one rifleman squad will get pinned, as you can see right here, by an MG. However, you get a ton, and you can just spread out your forces, so that way the arc of the Kubel can't hit them all, and of course they'll just surround it and kill it. The Kubo doesn't back up. We have a nice rifleman blob moving in. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to check names. I do deeply apologize. We have Stan Wizard as green. Sanakara as blue. Hansloch as yellow. I'm probably butchering that name, but I don't care. And Stalin Sickles as darker blue with, you know, Sankara's light blue. Yeah. Anyway, actually, and also to kind of like go with the idea that they have a team, they all pick their doctrines immediately. We have Soviet Shock Army, which again, it's great for upgrading your conscripts, very close range. Shock troops are great. Heavy mortars good. Having howitzer is also good for long-range artillery, and Stormvic strikes are great for hitting blobs, infantry, and lighter vehicles. Air Armor Company is pretty good at just the barrage and the assault engineers with flamethrowers. Vehicle crews with Thompsons, I have no idea why you'd ever want that. I guess increase their survivability. Look how fast they make this. This is what I mean. They're just going to spam these emplacements. And before you say, oh my god, Greyshot, you could spam bunkers. Well, we're OKW. Unless we specialize in fortifications, you cannot specialize in bunkers. So, no. I mean, putting down the emplacements, sure, but bunkers, no. Again, just a ton of echelons, and finally got himself a captain. But yeah, GTA is just being hammered right now by 3 fronts. I'm like, okay, time to send over forces. I do have a Verkenwerfer here guarding in case they bust through there, so I'm a defense. They did murder his Volk squad. Support gun is firing, but again, it's just getting... He has to fall back. There's too many men. Why it's turning around, I don't know, but that was a nice shot suppressing it. I think that was my brother. Yeah. I'm going to assume. Anyway, my Volk squads are moving up along with Stern Pioneers to push back this nice blob, and with, unfortunately, taking heavy losses from that support gun, they cannot fight this, so they're going to have to fall back. Also, this is what I mean by they're very good players. Heavy cover, barbed wire. We can't use the heavy cover, but they can. So, you know, that's a plus. And they also have this MG thing, well, they will have an MG thing right there, and just suppress anything that comes around the corner, which is great. It's honestly, you know, it's fantastic. I tried to go for mid, and I realized, oh, I'll sneak upon this. No, they have an MG here, suppress my men. I'm like, alright, get out of here. It's great. More rear echelon. Luckily, we have support guns firing. Trying to take this thing out. You can see here that Rifle Company has also been deployed. Again, easy hits are great. Elite Rifleman gets vet Rifleman very quickly. Flamethrowers are very good. And White Phosphorus is great for removing blobs. Also, they have the quote-unquote Infantry Company, which is great. Again, you can build fighting positions with Riflemen. Mortar half-track's pretty good. The Light Machine Gun is fantastic. Time Artillery is good for hitting specific targets. And the Priest is good for long-range mobile artillery. And you have enough, and it can kill a King Tiger. Go see in my Sittard summer map where Ari makes 8. It's fantastic. But yeah, so they're, again, I do think that they are cooperating. They are very organized. And also, they are stupid. They are pretty stupid. Because, again, they're allowing me to fortify here. So I place mines. I put these defenses up. And, yeah. And I just have my Kubo on defense. Along with another Verkenwerfer just in case they send armor. I also have these camouflaged. And I will have that. Just to make sure they send armor. They don't see it. They move up, hit a mine. And I can knock it out with a Verkenwerfer. It's great. But the problem is I need help. As you can see here, I need to help break them over there. And that's why I keep sending my men. I do have a medical thing right here along with GTA. And we can see here my brother has one as well. That way we can get support guns because we kind of need them to push back these riflemen. I know, support guns are OP, blah, 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 blah. But when you're dealing with that many blobs, you kind of need some artillery. And you kind of need a frontline force. And guess what? Support guns and the medical retreat kind of go hand in hand. Especially when they start fortifying. Because, yeah, you can build a Stuka. The problem is, typically this is British, is you like an AT gun or something. And they'll say a flak gun would probably not do very well. Puma could easily be hit by machine guns. And this is also bazookas. And we can see here that he's slowly upgrading his rear echelon with bars and, I think, bazookas? Whatever. Nice armor-piercing rounds brought to you by Panzer Juice. Remember, Panzer Juice will mow you down with armor-piercing rounds. Again, just mowing down a lot of men. But again, that machine gun is suppressing him. But unfortunately, the MG can't necessarily, you know, do a ton of damage. Well, it can hurt it, but it just can't suppress it. So while this is slowly being reduced in, you know, the ability to fire, the other thing is not. So, yeah, that's an issue. Being suppressed right now because, again, that stupid MG. Have to fall back. Volk's on standby in case they send a blob. But yeah, luckily our Support guns are slowly pushing them back. And by the way, they are going to be patched. So if you don't like them, they will be back to normal before they were buffed up with the British expansion. Also, just to let you guys know, they have just announced the 2 commanders. So if you are interested in a new OKW commander and a new American commander, both of them will be up by the October 29th update. Will I be playing them? Hell no. Greyshot, you may be asking yourself. Oh, very nice, bro. Moving out, trying to knock that thing out. And will it kill it? So close. Yet, so close. Yeah, not enough. But at least they, destroy that. That's good. A lot of conscripts with PPSHs. My brother's going to have a hard time. Heat-seeking AT grenade, of course, because they had that technology in World War II. Pushing up the conscripts. Luckily, my brother has this flak gun, and it's just going to suppress all of his troops. And I love where he put it, where it's just barely able to hit that. So if they try to come through here, as long as he has sight, they can't flank. So they can't come over here and then start hurting Panzer Juice's forces. Again, GTA's support guns doing a pretty nice job holding back those encroaching blobs. You can see your Panzer Juice also in close air support. That's very helpful for like hitting strategic targets behind enemy lines. It's also great for shorter maps because, or like targets that are really close to the end, like here, because then you can do an airstrike right here and there's less time to hit it, which is what I recommend. The problem is though, is of course, as they, comes down, you can see the little red dots, and the strafe is pretty good. It won't kill a heavy tank, but it will kill lighter vehicles. That's always a plus. Rear echelon's moving up because, of course, blobbing. Guess trying to pick up that flamethrower is what Panzer is trying to do. I would agree. Grab that flamethrower. But he probably should fall back at that moment. Unfortunately, Tyler, my brother, Greyshot 151, is having issues with this. Because, again, Stern Pioneers are good. Wow, never mind. I thought PP is... Oh, wait, yeah, he has more. He just needs more close-range men. But the Stern Pioneers are doing really good, actually, against him. So good for him. What was I going to mention? Oh, yeah, the new commander. So the new commander, the new American commander has been unveiled. They have not unveiled the OKW commander. If you want to name them, you can. You can name those commanders. Just go to Relic's website or Facebook or Twitter page and post the link or something with the name. I'm terrible with names, so I'm not even going to try. Also, as you can see here, they are countering. The only thing worse than a support gun is a howitzer. And as you can see here, they've been taking some heavy losses with their infantry fighting force, so they're getting their own mortars and howitzers. Actually, probably heavy mortar. Yeah, heavy mortar. So yeah, they're getting their heavy mortar, stuff like that, to counter the support guns. Luckily, the support gun's been on the field a little bit longer, so you can see here that they were slightly ranked up. Or at least have more kills, which could help, because if you have a better ranked, support gun, that will give it probably a slight advantage. It could possibly kill the howitzer before. A white phosphorus coming down, making sure my brother cannot capture that field, because again, his troops will lose health, and he does not want to have a low, an infantry with low health fighting conscripts with PPSHs, because they will be mowed down. Nice demo charge, by the way. Really should have placed the mine there. That way, if you walked, boom, and everything would die. Yeah, you really should be placing more mines, Soviet player. Like just some here. Because again, you can place cheap mines. You can place cheap mines. Wow, he's still capturing that point. Good for him. Anyways, here I moved up my forces trying to counter, but unfortunately I took some heavy losses dealing with this rifleman. Yeah, this green guy, he's going with the basic, I'm just going to get riflemen and upgrade them with bars and bazookas. With America, you typically have... Oh my god, before I talk about that, the new American commander, Jesus Christ, has a Pershing. There you go. You want your Pershing, you want the heavy tank, you're going to get it. And it is awesome. The Pershing is awesome. At least that's what everyone's saying and stuff like that, that it is going to be great. I don't know how much it's going to be or whatnot, but Pershing's in there. Also, Rangers are going to be in there, so if you like the Ardennes Assault, Rangers will be in there. But instead of bazookas, they get Thompsons. Oh, that howitzer shot can do a lot of damage. Oh, it suppressed them all. Oh, the runaway. Try to capture that point. Realize that there's a Sherman right there, and I try to run, but as we see here, get destroyed. I let GTA know that there is a Panther, not Panther, a Sherman coming around, but luckily his Jagdpanzer's there, and Jagdpanzer will take out a Sherman, at least, of course, while it's facing down, because this is a tank destroyer, and can take a lot of hits from the front. It's great in that capacity. Again, take a lot of hits, and then back up for sneak ambushes and surprise assaults. But yeah, this green guy, he's concentrated right here. Once again, I placed some more mines, some more defenses, but again, I'm not really being threatened all that much. My brother is having constant issues, and we can see here that the Soviet player's like, F it, I'm gonna go artillery. And I just released something where the Allied players started going heavy in artillery. I don't want Company of Heroes 2 to turn into an artillery game, but that's what it kind of feels like it's happening. I mean, it is a strategy. I mean, don't get me wrong. But I don't know. The last few games, nice job getting Minesweeper. Get rid of that demo. Anyway, so I've been finding more and more lately. Oh, that was close. I've been finding more and more lately that people have been trying to use heavy artillery of the Allies to break up the Germans. Whether it's the British with Sectons, or maybe Priests, or Howitzers, or B4s, although I will say B4s are amazing, and, you know, just say you can use B4 anywhere, honestly. You know, take B4 to City 17. I don't care. I love versing B4s. I love having B4s. B4s are awesome. Anyway, but in any case, there's been more artillery. That's what I mean by the strafe, is like, they see it, they just move out of the way, and it does nothing, so that's the issue. Luckily, my brother and Pinter's moving up. Nice rifle grenade, taking off some damage. But yeah, just a lot of artillery focus, as you can see. And then, and again, mortar carriages, very, like, again, very close range. And then when this one guy is the only guy really going Shermans. Like, this green guy is what I would say a typical American player. He's going heavy rifleman, and he's going tanks. And then you have the other guys going more specialized with mortar, stuff like that. Even this guy, I find, again, he has A. Jackson, but I'm really surprised he isn't getting... He has a decent amount of men, but I'm really surprised he isn't trying to get more armor. Especially because, again, he has easy 8s. And he probably has them available to him. So, yeah. Weird. Anyway, we can see here, Sternpite, the rifleman, trying to, I guess, finally come through here. I moved up, and I tried to place some mines in some more key locations. I put here in case to come around this heavy cover. I think I put on this road. No, I didn't put on the road. Whatever. I fall back. He's barely alive. He's going to have to fall back. He can't really push up. You can see here Panzerjuice did push up, and he does have a MG with armor-piercing rounds, which is great. Fantastic. GTA went fortification, so he will have access to bunkers. He also is specializing in Jagdpanzers. And again, Jagdpanzers are great against ambush. Because he specialized in this, I got a half-track, which will allow him to see incoming armor. And again, that is huge, because what that's going to do is allow him to hit that armor, and eventually the Jagdpanzer will get a special ability, as we can see here, to inflict greater damage when, you know, when it, like, ambushes an enemy, which it can do. And that's great. So the fact he can see the incoming blob, stuff like that, he can, like, know where they are and plan his infantry accordingly. MG34, I don't like it necessarily, but the fact that his armor-piercing rounds already, I do like his armor-piercing rounds. I don't care if it's MG34 or 42. It will tear apart light vehicles, and I love it. Also, we can see here that green is like, F you, I'm going to move up, and I'm going to grab this left point. What he doesn't know is my Verkenwerfer right here, and my Panther. So I'm just going to start firing. And then he moves up his Jackson thinking, oh, I'm all that. Doesn't hit the mine, because I think there's one with Minesweeper, I'm assuming. Just completely, you know, with that assault, fall back immediately. And then this guy's like, I'm going to move up with my rifleman. So now they're finally like, well, we're losing footage here. We'll have to fall back. But that being said, I mean, my brother's been barely able to kind of fight this area with Panzerjuice. The fact that they're kind of switching over to another point is kind of telling of the situation where it's like, okay, we're not winning this current engagement. We need to refocus. And I'll give them credit for that. That's a great strategy. That's a great idea. If you're not winning in a certain particular area, do not keep bashing your head against the wall. Look left, see that there's a door, and open the door. Unfortunately, there goes my Verkenwerfer, but I'm moving up my nice little infantry section with, you know, Volks and stuff like that moving up. Luckily, support guns are firing. We have some nice flamethrowers that I may have stole from, you know, their infantry before. Mines are doing a good job. You can see here that my mine placements, again, I put one right here because I figured they would use the heavy cover, and one right here has actually been doing pretty good job. Yeah, just like beating back the riflemen. As you can see, they fall back here, and we can see that, as you can see here with the infrared. I can see that, which is very, very bad, because again, you don't want the enemy to see this position, because you know, I'm a Stuka, and you know, Stuka is bad for this. We can see here that Panju's got himself a Brumbar to help deal with the heavy infantry. And to be fair, I do not blame him. Because again, he's trying to bury these encampments and then try to move up. And they don't exactly have Jacksons. Like, again, they've been kind of using these mortar carriages, so they know they have mortar carriages. So if there's no Jackson or Easy 8, it's like, yeah, I'm getting a Brumbar. Because these Brumbars will tear your infantry apart. And my brother, as you can see, has a nice little defensive line here. And he's been trying to get more men. He lost quite a bit in his last previous assaults from, you know, the PPSH holding conscripts. And we'll need a new plan or strategy to push up, as you can see here. Soviet players place some mines. I think that's a bad location. I feel like more mines over here would be good. To be fair, you could say, yeah, my brother has a, you know, Stern Pioneer. But that being said, if you don't want to put it over here, you could always put it over here and put it like on these main roads, stuff like that. We see here he has to move over his Jackson. Another infantry blob on my side. For Cannon Warfare, I remand only for it to die. Again, which is like, god damn you. Stuka firing. Does a little bit of damage against the infantry. Doesn't hurt mine necessarily all that much, but whatever. Every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. Like, for example, my brother getting a King Tiger and screaming "fuck you" at the enemy, which he may or may not have done. I cannot confirm. I can confirm that he was overjoyed to finally break these fighting positions that have been causing us. Oh, like, they've been causing us hell. Look, fighting position on a fighting position. This is insane. But anyway, the King Tiger's pushing up. They don't have a lot of armor. They have a lot of infantry with bazookas, which is an issue. And look at all that artillery currently hitting it. That is ridiculous. But the King Tiger is falling back, taking a lot of hits in the meantime. But as you can see, it's not necessarily puncturing its armor or doing a lot of critical hits, so he's able to fall back. Unfortunately, GTA's Jagdpanzer's like, hey, I want your autograph, and unfortunately they're not getting along, so they won't move, and it's just causing a big, you know, traffic jam right here. It's just a big thing, you know. Not every Jagdpanzer can beat a King Tiger. If you look over here, we can see that... Wow, okay, that was a nice... I assume that was a howitzer hit? I would assume. And I would also probably recommend healing. Oh, wait, no, that's something else. Oh, this could be it. The howitzers could be doing it, or this artillery, which is facing this general direction. And the fact it's even hitting my brother's forces is bad in the first place. That being said, Panzerjuice has 512, so what he easily do is, once this is unlocked, do a nice little recon plane, tell Stuka to say hello to the howitzer, and, you know, howitzers don't like, uninformed, pretty much unknown welcomes and have it get annihilated, so that's a plus. Panther's moving in, and as you can see here, I have to move back in stern, but they're kind of like pushing against the forest, so I almost push them and run them over, but unfortunately he retreats in the meantime, which, you know, stops that from happening, which is kind of bad. I move up my forces here, try to grab these munitions. Again, my goal is just try to help GTA. That being said, green is kind of being annoying. And as you can see here, he's even actually fortifying this sector, thinking I'm going to push up. If that, because I don't need to push up. If I push up, which I have done some incursions, I will going to lose my men. I'm barely holding off against green. I don't need to actually walk up with green and blue without my knowledge and, you know, have that fight. Yeah, Stern Panzer doing pretty good. The Brumbar is doing okay. I mean, taking a few hits, but hey, and got a few kills. But hey, at least it's causing damage. These howitzers are the big thing, though. They're just causing a lot of havoc. White Phosphorus coming down, stopping the Grenadiers from moving up. That being said, they are trying to take out these howitzers. This guy is 3? 2, 3... Yeah, so we're doing a lot of howitzers. In the meantime, my brother did get a Stuka. Oh, I'm sorry, I got a Stuka, what am I saying? To try to help them. That being said, as you can see here, we have a nice blob. And I'm just like, god dang it, they are just blobbing to the extreme. Well, luckily, GTA came in and is like, hello. And enjoy the, hit him with some Panzer tracks. Oh, yeah, so... This is what happens when you allow the enemy to see your major. Because all we did was do a Stuka bomb, and as you can see here, the rear echelons may have lost a few limbs. So, you know, here's a tip. Make sure the enemy doesn't see this. If you think the enemy saw it, move it immediately, especially if they have close air support. Like, here would be a good area, because, again, there's some cover here, if the enemy even pushed up this far. And it's still pretty close up to the front line. It's at midpoint. If you can see over here, mine is kind of blocked by trees and obscured. So there's some cover here, and it's very close. Infantry can't really get stuck, so it's really nice in that location, which is, you know, what is perfect. That's what I need. I have my infantry section here because I'm like, hey, GTA, I'll help you as much as possible, but oh yeah, there goes another one. There's another Stuka bomb. Nice job, and it did hit a few more, but Green's majority of his forces, as you can see, we're over here. He's gonna save up more men, and then wait. Okay, so here's ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna show you the textbook example of a Sturm Tiger trap. Okay, so this is what you do: you lure them in. You get the rifleman. You say, "Hello, rifleman. I have very few forces guarding this area." Riflemen focused are like, "Oh my God, we got this. This is so simple." Because on their screen, they only see this. They don't see this. You then tell the Sturm Tiger to hit them where they're gonna go. And when they follow the infantry you're retreating, when the riflemen all move up, you do a Sturm Tiger shot, murder them all, and reduce his forces down to one squad and make him rage quit. The rage quit is very, very important, because, or not rage quit, but just, you know, making him upset is very, very important, because this is what why it causes him to lose focus, question his morals and judgment, and helps you win the game. So much cheese on the German side. Compared to what? The PPSH blob you have, or the rear echelon bar group you have? Please tell me which one. I also like how, again, this howitzer... Oh, wait, no. Wait, really? That didn't hurt? I swear, I thought his own howitzer shot hit it. Compared to the horde you're sending us. Yeah, I made that comment because, again, they're just sending, like, these giant blobs. And to counter that, you kind of have to counter blobs. Or use Stukas and stuff. We can see here my brother, unfortunately, has been taking some losses. He's down to a King Tiger. But luckily, he does have some more men. So he's been doing pretty well. Brumbar's trying to knock out this position. Again, very explosive rounds, can do a lot of damage to infantry. Not as much as a Centaur. Thank you. Centaur could kill an infantry unit, but still pretty good at killing those emplacements. We can see here that they've kind of been focusing now on mid. They're still allowing us to see their blobs and stuff like that. Again, my thing is right here, and I can see a good chunk of the map. The fact you still allow me to see this is something I don't understand. And now they have Katyushas. Close range, firing on GTA's current location. They're not puncturing the Jagdpanzer armor, not by a long shot, but they're causing a lot of havoc. But see, this is also a thing. We can see here that we have the right and left pocket. They're now focused on mid, which is exactly what we want them to do. Because if we have the flanks, and we can pretty much focus on both sides with artillery and support guns into like literally a death area, we can literally focus them into this pit where they just keep sending their men and we just fire from all sides. Artillery on this side protected by the wall, along with a nice defensive line, and to capture those points, we win the game. It's that simple. We can see here my brother's leading with the King Tiger. And a Panther. Nice command Panther. Again, boost everything around with speed. Tons of units moving up. Grabbed a flamethrower. Ooh, wow. Did he actually hit his own mine? Oh, he must have probably detonated on retreat. Cervic strike coming in, doing a lot of damage to the Grenadiers. Grenadiers probably have to fall back shortly. Oh, nice airstrike, but unfortunately just missing. With that airstrike, you kind of have to anticipate where the enemy's going to be. Kind of sucks. Is this where I Stuka? Oh yeah, I Stuka this location to get rid of their mortar carriage, which actually worked. Deal with the fighting position and kill the howitzer. So yeah, we see over here that they had to be pulled back, although they still have a ton of armor. That's what they're kind of focusing on right now, is more armor. And I think, I could be wrong on this, but did this guy... No, it doesn't say anything. Wait, hold on. Nope, Neville. Okay. One of them will eventually leave, I believe. But yeah. I think it's Slain. Well, he will eventually depart. And I think I know why he's going to depart. Yeah. Once again, we have the good old Panzer Juice sending over a recon plane. And look, a Stuka strike. I wonder where it could be. Is it here? Panzer Juice, where was that Stuka? Okay, maybe maybe it was on the Katyushas. I don't know. Jackson's moving up. Trying to hit these support guns. I love, again, bunkers kind of defending with support guns. Luckily, Jagdpanzer's on guard. Taking some fire over here. They're trying to counter. Moving up armor, Su-85 hitting long range, allowing the Jacksons, again, that extra sight. Whoa, I'm sorry. Oh my god. Okay, here's a problem. Wait, Stalin Sickles. Hold on. Oh yeah, you are American. Why do I think you're Russian? Why do you have Wolverines? This is not a game where you have Wolverines. This is a game where you have Jacksons. The snipe. My brother's like, I'm tired of this. I'm getting my own artillery, which is why you got Panzerwerfers. Deal with the blobs. And as you can see here, we kind of slowly push them back, which is really, really good. That being said, I think this would be a good place to arty. Or use the Stuka. As you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3 guys trying to force my brother and his men back, which is, of course, a detriment. Sturm Tiger's on standby. Again, 17 kills with that last one, which is great. I'm just defending this location. Eventually, no, I'm sorry, not eventually. Yeah, I'm just moving up my men throughout the middle. I'm like, alright, my armor will guard the right, but I'll send my infantry into this area and guard the left. And GTA will support me with his men. And I can, you know, do some nice sneak assault, stuff like that. The last thing I want to walk into is an AT pit, because, again, that can be very deadly. But again, I can have my infantry just open fire. That being said, this would be a perfect shot for a Sturm Tiger if I wasn't keeping it defensive. But that being said, I throw some incendiary grenades. That way, in case they retreat, they have to fall back into the fire. We also have, looks like a Sturmovik strike coming in, doing some own damage. White phosphorus, terrible location, because again, if you retreat, you're running right into that. So that's my issue with it. Nice support gun shot coming in. Sherman's moving up. As you see here, again, they're running through the white phosphorus, being slowed down and losing health. So that's why I'm saying that's a bad location to put in. Katyusha moving up, but we can see that Katyusha's location. I wonder if GTA is going to act upon that. He does have a defensive bunker right here. We have close range. Wait, did that plane just get hit by a... That plane just took a Katyusha hit. And again, those Katyushas are trying to hit GTA's medical bunker because they think that would be a nice critical shot on knocking out a lot of that his elite actually, yeah, I'll say elite infantry, because look at that, there's a 4-star support gun. That's awesome. Brumbar moving up, showing how it can knock down a AT gun in one hit. We have the Wolverines on the side, not doing all that much, and this is the problem we now have. So yeah, Panzer Juice, yeah, you can probably get some more men. My brother's, you know, having difficulties, but with me and GTA, we're just floating. Because, again, we're just trying to slowly push them back. Also, I loved how, you know, yeah, this guy left, and then all of his armor just started pushing up, which was, again, Jackson's, which is what the other guy needs, but anyway. Pushed up, and we were able to, like, okay, we'll neutralize everything. Oh, and now this guy's like, alright, we need to go on the offensive. I think he's placing little mines everywhere. I could be wrong. Yeah, they can place these little mines. They're okay, but they're not as effective as, you know, this mine. Sturm Tiger on standby. I was kind of hoping he would push up, but he moved around, so I only got one man. Kind of disappointed in myself, honestly. Panthers are fighting, Britannia is hiding, and my infantry are healing, actually moving back to the right. You have something over here. What is that? Oh, that's time on target. Well, I didn't know about that. So prepare for a fail on my part, where I failed to realize there's time on target. And it's about to, you know, hit a good chunk of my men. Yeah, that's how I lost my 4-star guy. As soon as I realized that, I'm like, God damn, stupid. But you can have stupid moments now and again, even if you're playing really well. Anyway, we can see here for Kenworth to move up again. He tried to do that to counteract the SU-85s. My brother again, realizing that there's only so much you can do. Katyusha fire coming to close range, trying to push back that armor. And I guess infantry forces apparently he thought were moving up. Infantry moving up, trying to kill that Brumbar, which armored skirts, by the way. That looks awesome. Man flies out of the stern. Is that stern panzer? Yeah, stern panzer, Brumbar, whatever. Flies out of it. It dies from bazooka shots, and that's why bazookas are good in mass quantity. SU-85 is firing long range, trying to push back that Panther. Luckily, other Pantry's like, I'm gonna fight. Walks right into Panzerwerfer fire. GTA's moved up. Jagdpanzer's kind of weirdly positioned. I'll kind of face him with one here, whatever. Kind of going through with mines. That's cool. Unfortunately, it looks like though we can see here that Stained Wizard has redistributed his forces. He's now trying to figure out what he should do, and it looks like to be focusing a lot of his men on the other side. We can also see here that he's still okay. That's the thing. Why this guy never get easy gates? I'm very confused. Because if they're all specializing in something, that is something you really want to specialize in. Luckily, GTA's 3 support guns have been doing really well against that infantry. Kind of having a small incursion over here by this guy's remaining forces. I'm like, alright, get out of here. Shoo. So I move up my men, gonna clear that area off and try to refortify, grab the for cannon warfare and stuff like that. Also got Opal Soldaten, which are really, really good against infantry. But yeah, so now it's just, you know, recapturing territory. We broke the Americans. We broke the Soviets. One factor they didn't, again, they could have probably put some points down. As you can see, your Panzertrues literally spent a ton of manpower making sure we had fuel and I think ammunition somewhere, or not, whatever. Also, random shot over here. No idea how they did this, by the way. No idea. I'm assuming that maybe when I fired my Stuka, when it was reloading, it hit itself, but I have no idea how that happened. Panzertrues moving up a lot of forces, but you see Katyusha's hitting them. Luckily, they retreat out of the... mostly out of the line of fire. Mostly. But yeah, honestly, it's... if you're fighting, if you're dealing with a lot of Americans, artillery is a way to go. However, the alternative route is just, again, luring them to ambush as traps. Like, again, Sturm Tiger. It's technically not artillery. I mean, yeah, whatever. It's close range artillery. Whatever. But, yeah, lure them into situations where you can try and knock out all of them. Like, suppress them, run them over with a tank, mine, demo, whatever. Do what you have to do to try to eliminate and cut, like, force him to, like, get all of his men murdered. Like, get him clumped up so that way you can hit him one shot with an incendiary grenade, I don't know, something like that. And that proves to be hugely substantial. Also, if you can hit their weak points, like this guy, that's his weak point. That's a weak point. If you can knock those points out, that's a plus. The same thing like the medical positions are for the OKW, which again, GTA is barely alive, OKW base. That's what I would recommend, is just trying to find the enemy's weak point and taking advantage of it. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, this AI is not doing all that well. He is focusing on my side. I'll give him that. I have no idea why this guy keeps coming over to my side, but whatever. I throw against incendiary. I try to move up some troops. Luckily, support guns are coming in. Sturm Tiger shot. Yeah, do some damage. Okay, and this is where... okay, so for those who don't know, Panzertrues has had the... for whatever reason, he upgraded his graphics card without checking his battery, and unfortunately, he cannot run a lot of games because the battery will repeat, and, or just, like, it'll just cycle off. And to be fair, that's why you, when you buy, like, equipment for your computer, you check beforehand on, like, what do you have. So they see this as a perfect opportunity to move up. And this is where it's like, Jackson's doing so much better, because we see the Wolverines, they're firing, they're not doing all that much, and they're bouncing. Jackson's barely bouncing. They can bounce, but it's really unlikely. Anyway, they're using their tank destroyers to knock out the armor, and slowly but surely push up with their infantry. And as we see here, they have a lot of infantry, especially really, really good infantry, like the conscripts with PPSHs. So anyway, we can see here that my brothers has a small defensive line here with some troops trying to push them back. King Tiger, again, doing some nice shots on there. In the meantime, yeah, he's just holding, trying to capture. GTA is trying to push mid. I'm recapturing my right point. King Tiger still, I'm like, alright, fine, I'll come help you. Because my brother's like, oh, I'm being hit by a lot of forces. I'm like, fine, whatever, I'll send my King Tiger. Well, anyway, Green finds this opportunity to send all his Shermans over to my brother's side. And then, it's literally the ally charge. It's a remastering of, like, I don't know. I don't want to say, I think I'm going to miss a Pickett's charge or whatever. But they're going to send all their armor in a crazy rush. Luckily, the King Tiger is getting some nice shots off with the Command Panther, but there's so much armor hitting it. So my brother's like, just fall back. Look at this infantry right now. That's a lot of infantry. Anyway, they're losing all our men. Cervix strike coming in. They're knocking out my brother's main gun. They're continually firing. Stuka shot coming in. They knock out the Panzerwerfer. Tons of infantry coming around the flank. We're like, oh no. I do a close range Stuka, try to hit some of the infantry, kind of miss. That being said, my brother's King Tiger does fail. Our armored Guy Panzers is now coming in from GTA side. King Tiger is moving out mine, and Storm Tiger is on standby. Fire. Kind of missed the blob. I was kind of aiming for this, but they moved up shortly and then got suppressed. I'm like, god dang it, sorry. But I at least knocked out the Su-85, which is a good thing. King Tiger can easily take out this infantry. That being said, Command Panther's coming back up, trying to neutralize that. Wolverine does an excellent shot, and their huge assault, which actually pushed it back pretty much. I mean, they knocked out the Panzer headquarters, and could have, if they had the fourth guy, really flooded into our territory, has been halted, and they see that as a final opportunity to be like, good game, that's it, and they're going to slowly but surely surrender. There we go. But overall, that is game, and as you can see, my brother lost a lot of men in that big assault. But yeah, so that's pretty much game. What are the takeaways? First off, oh yeah, by the way, they caused GTA like to not fight so much. He sacrificed his Jagdpanzer so he could get King Tiger. He's like, I want to take King Tiger. Because look at that, he has so much manpower and fuel. It's ridiculous. I mean, so do I. Panzer's kind of, not really. And so did my brother. But again, they were kind of under more fire than I was. Honestly, I didn't do all that much. I did okay, points-wise. We shared. GT got most damage. Actually curious why. Hold on. That's what I'm curious about. Why did he got most damage? I'm guessing his support guns. No, wow, Volks. 13,000. Not half bad. 72 kills with that. That's also pretty good. My brother. King Tiger. Really nice. Anyway. So yeah, so that was a really nice charge at the end. I did like that. The problem is I feel like the point that unfortunately this guy just like he could not get through his skull was the fact that if you are an American player, why are you going with Wolverines? Why not get Jacksons? Jacksons are so much better. They're so much more powerful, and they have better armor. So I mean, I'm not saying Jackson has good armor to begin with, but they have better armor. Anyway, we can see here, of course, that my brother got most kills, also losses, barely took any points. It kind of shows you how the thing was. Panju's got least damage, did pretty good overall still. Again, his Stuka strikes, though, I don't know if they count, but again, they were very, very helpful at just hitting key positions and destroying enemy forces, which were great. Oh yeah, I should probably mention, my brother went Special Operations to get the Command Panther, and I went Elite Armor to get the Storm Tiger. Let's see, the American side. Stalin Sickles. Again, oh no, I'm sorry, Han. Han got most damage and kills. Probably the Katyushas. If I had to assume, it has to be the Katyushas. No, Su-85. Wow, okay, that's a lot of damage for Su-85s. Wow, four vehicles killed, not bad. Anyway, that's pretty much game, and that was actually a really good game. But again, it just highlights to you, take advantage of enemy weaknesses and prioritize them. If the person has a broken left leg, you keep hitting that broken left leg until he falls over. Because again, that's the weak points. You don't keep fighting a point where you can't win. And I felt like these guys kept hitting my brother and mid when they really should have kind of focused on here. I kind of had some defenses, but if they really tried, they could have broke me. Because I didn't really have a good defensive line. But they didn't. They kept focusing on my brother. My brother hardened and adapted, which is, again, and then of course we learned their weakness about their, you know, major, I mean, like their major / ambulance positions in the middle of nowhere. We're like, okay, we can take advantage of this. But yeah, that's game. I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, you can send in a replay via my Facebook channel or my Facebook page, or my YouTube channel in the About section in my email. But yeah, send in a replay. I'll try to cast it for you. But in any case, I'll see you next time.